Hello and welcome to Baking on a Budget. Now this time we have a classic carrot cake recipe. This is a carrot cake with a beautiful cream cheese and butter frosting on top. We have all of the materials over here to make that, and I'm going to run through those one by one, tell you exactly what the quantities are and how much each cost. To begin with, we have 2 eggs at 26 pence. We have 175 grams of sugar. This is just granulated sugar, and that is 21 pence. We have a pinch of salt, which we can't really cost. We have 120 ml of vegetable oil at 19 pence. We have 225 grams of plain flour at 12 pence. We have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder at 5 pence. We have half a teaspoon of bicarb at about a penny. We have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 4 pence. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence at 12 pence. And we have 225 grams of carrots at 15 pence. That's for the cake. Now, for the frosting, which goes on top, we have 75 grams of cream cheese, which is 48 pence. We have 75 grams of butter at 56 pence. And we have 120 grams of icing sugar or confectioner's sugar at 31 pence. Now, if we add all of that up, it comes to £2.80. This whole recipe, £2.80. And we're going to get 8 slices of this delicious carrot cake. So that makes each slice 35 pence. Very reasonable. Okay, so to begin with, like many a cake recipe, we are going to prepare the wet ingredients first. And what we have in the jug here is the sugar and the 2 eggs. Now I'm going to beat these well together with the electric hand whisk. It can be done by hand, but I'm going to use the electric one. And we want this to be really well combined, so I'm going to whisk it for about 1.5 minutes, something like that. Alrighty, that's a good 1.5 minutes later, and that is looking beautiful and creamy. Now to that I'm going to add this vegetable oil, and that is 120 ml of vegetable oil. And again, back to the beater, we're going to mix that up, blend it all really nicely together. Okay, that's about another minute in there, and that is looking really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to transfer this to the bowl. And we'll get all of that out with our spatula. And the next thing we want to do is add the dry ingredients. So here we have 220 grams of plain flour. We have some baking powder. There we have 1 and 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder. And along with that, if I can get the top off, we will have 1/2 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. There it is. And along with that, we will have a teaspoon of this cinnamon powder, ground cinnamon. Now we just want to sieve this into the bowl, into the wet ingredients. And now I'm going to fold this into the wet ingredients. And we'll keep going with this until we have a beautiful smooth batter. One more thing. We also have, at this point, a teaspoon, looks like the last teaspoon, of this vanilla extract. Okay, so the job is combine the wet and the dry ingredients until it's looking something like that. It's a fairly stiff batter for this one, but it's going to be delicious. Very next thing we want to do is prepare the carrots. Now again, this is 225 grams of carrots. And what I'm going to do is just peel these first. And once peeled, I'll take the trusty old grater. I think this grater will have to be renewed fairly soon. It's sort of fallen to pieces at the bottom, but that's okay. It has seen some service. Neglected earlier was just a pinch of salt, so we'll put that in now. And then we want to start adding the carrots. And again, this is a fold in sort of activity. Just want to fold them carrots into there. Okay, there we have it. Scrape the spatula clean. Okay, now I have a prepared loaf tin here, it's a £2 loaf tin, and I have greased that with a little bit of lard, and I've put the strip of greaseproof paper in the bottom, again just to make it easy to get the cake out of there once it's finished, once it's baked. So we want to get all of this delicious ingredients into the tin. That's it there. And just push that down a little bit. Doesn't really need a lot of firming down. It'll sort itself out once it gets in the oven. That is it there. Now this is going in the oven at about 170 degrees centigrade. Again, this is a conventional oven it's going into, not a fan assisted oven. At 170 degrees centigrade. It's going to stay in there for about 35-40 minutes. We'll test it after 40 minutes and see if the skewer is coming out clean, and if so, that will be good to go. Okay, and whilst the carrot cake is in the oven baking, let's make this frosting for the top of it. Now, as I say, I have 75 grams of each here, 75 grams of butter which I've softened, and 75 grams of cream cheese. Now, I'm going to beat them together just with the back of the spoon, and with that nicely combined, next thing I want to do is start adding this icing sugar. Now I'm just going to add this a little bit at a time. We don't want to overdo it, and again that will dissolve into that very easily. Right, I'll put the rest of that in there now. Make sure the whole thing is nicely blended, and then we'll pop this in the fridge to stiffen up a little whilst the cake is continuing to bake. The cake is out of the oven and it's looking really good. Smells beautiful. It did take a little longer than I first stated. I think it took just about 45 minutes. 45 minutes for this in the oven and done to a turn. Right, we're going to get the icing on here and then we're going to have a taste of it. Right. Our cake has cooled a little. We have our frosting back out of the fridge. This other material here is something different. I'm making some of those delicious cheese and onion pasties. Having, again, another bit of a baking day. A recipe for the pasties here. Delicious, very simple to make. Now I'm just wondering, do I put a layer of this in the middle of the cake and then spread the rest on top? I think that sounds reasonable because there is quite a lot of that. What we will do is just cut into that. That is going to be delicious. I'll put some of this in the middle. And again, I'm just spreading this on with the back of the spoon. Yes, I think that's going to be really good. Okay, pop the lid back on. And the rest of this we will just get on top of the cake. Right, now I'm going to pop this in the fridge just for a little while to help this frosting to set a little, and then we're going to taste that. Look at this. This is a beautiful, soft, moist carrot cake with a wonderful cream cheese and sugar frosting. As I say, this whole recipe came out at £2.80, making this slice of carrot cake 35p. Now I'm going to taste it. That is superb. That is a beautiful cake. It tastes practically caramelly. Very nice indeed. Yes. That will be a regular on the menu for a while. Now, can I just say, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos like this in the future, very simple recipes, always really inexpensive and delicious, do consider subscribing to the channel. Many more videos to come. Beautiful cakes like this one, low cost and delicious meal ideas, and pastries, pasties, sausage rolls, things like this, which make a really cheap and nutritious lunch. So, I thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to devour the rest of this carrot cake. Oh yeah.